The deeper you think, the more you realize this world was never built for you. If you see patterns where others see noise, if you question what most accept without thought, then you've already felt it. The frustration, the isolation, the unbearable weight of a society that rewards blind obedience and punishes independent thought. This is not a coincidence. This is by design. We are living in an era where intelligence is not just undervalued, it's actively suppressed. Think about it. The media bombards you with distractions, keeping your mind too occupied to question the deeper truths. And if you dare to break free, the system labels you as difficult, arrogant, or out of touch. But today, that changes. In this video, we're going to expose the hidden war on intelligence, why the world is designed to keep you from reaching your full potential, and more importantly, how you can outthink, outmaneuver, and escape the trap that keeps 99% of people asleep. Miss even a single part of this, and you risk staying stuck in a system built to control you. Let's begin. From an early age, intelligent people realize they don't fit in. You see the world differently. While others accept things at face value, you analyze, question, and challenge assumptions. But instead of being encouraged, you're met with blank stares, confusion, or even hostility. You speak in ideas, while most people speak in emotions. You crave deep, thought-provoking conversations, yet the majority of people are content discussing celebrities, gossip, or whatever viral trend is floating across their screens. Slowly, you begin to realize you're alone. This isn't just an illusion, it's a design flaw in society itself. The world is optimized for the average mind, built to cater to the majority. And because intelligence is rare, those who possess it often find themselves isolated. You struggle to form deep connections, not because you're incapable, but because there are so few people who can actually meet you at your level. Instead of being admired, you're misunderstood. Instead of feeling ahead, you feel alienated. And this isolation only grows as you get older. But it's not just your experience. There's a larger force at play, something that has been shaping society for decades. Have you noticed how society seems to be getting dumber? How critical thinking is replaced with blind acceptance? How entertainment is becoming more brainless? How conversations are becoming more surface level? And how people seem to be thinking less and reacting more? This phenomenon has a name, the Idiocracy effect. Inspired by the 2006 film Idiocracy, this effect describes a slow, systematic dumbing down of society. The movie was supposed to be satire, a joke, a warning about what might happen if intelligence was neglected. But today, it's no longer a warning, it's our reality. Look around. Society rewards simplicity, not complexity. Deep thinking is dismissed as overanalyzing, and questioning the status quo is seen as dangerous. The world has shifted from intellectual curiosity to emotional reactivity, and the consequences are everywhere. The average person no longer seeks truth. They seek comfort. They don't want facts, they want validation. They don't want logic, they want something that confirms their existing beliefs. And the result? A world that actively rejects intelligence in favor of entertainment, distraction, and conformity. And if you still think this is just an exaggeration, let's look at the scientific proof. Studies show that the human attention span has dropped significantly over the past few decades. In 2000, the average attention span was around 12 seconds. Today, it's closer to 8 seconds, shorter than that of a goldfish. Why? Because modern technology has reprogrammed our brains. Social media, short-form videos, and endless scrolling have conditioned people to crave instant gratification over deep, focused thought. People no longer have the patience to read, analyze, or sit with an idea. Instead, they consume fragmented bits of information, headlines without context, opinions without evidence, and narratives designed to trigger emotional reactions rather than logical conclusions. Education was once about learning how to think. Now, it's about memorizing and repeating. Schools don't teach students how to question, challenge, or innovate. They teach them how to pass standardized tests. Creativity is discouraged, independent thought is penalized, and questioning authority is seen as disruptive. The result? A system that mass produces obedient workers, not intelligent thinkers. Over time, this has led to generations of people who are unable to think critically, who blindly accept whatever information they are given without questioning whether it's true. Now it's about keeping you emotionally engaged. News headlines are no longer designed to inform. They're designed to provoke outrage, generate clicks, and those clicks generate money. This is why modern news doesn't encourage nuanced discussions or logical debates. Instead, it feeds you sensationalized stories that trigger knee-jerk reactions. People are no longer trained to analyze both sides of an issue. They are conditioned to pick a side and defend it at all costs. And once emotion replaces logic, critical thinking becomes nearly impossible. So what happens when society stops thinking? When intelligence is ignored? When people no longer have the patience to question, analyze, or challenge the status quo? That's when the real curse of intelligence begins. Being intelligent is often seen as a gift, but in a world that rejects deep thought, it can feel like a curse. Here's why. Constant boredom. The world moves too slowly for you. You grasp ideas in minutes that take others days to comprehend. Conversations feel repetitive. Entertainment feels predictable. And the day-to-day routines that most people find fulfilling feel painfully dull. Your mind craves stimulation, yet the world rarely provides it. Difficulty forming deep connections. You seek conversations that challenge your intellect, ones that force you to think in new ways. But those conversations are rare. Most people aren't interested in exploring abstract ideas or discussing philosophical questions. And so, you find yourself either suppressing your intelligence to fit in or isolating yourself entirely. Mental exhaustion from explaining basic ideas. One of the greatest frustrations of being intelligent is having to slow down for others. You see patterns before others recognize the problem. You think 5 steps ahead, while most people are still processing step 1. And every time you have to explain something that seems obvious to you, it feels like you are constantly lowering yourself to match the pace of society. Over time, this exhaustion builds. You either learn to hide your intelligence to avoid conflict, or you grow frustrated with the world around you. And that is the trap. The intelligence trap. The world needs intelligent minds, but instead of nurturing them, it isolates, suppresses, and buries them under distractions. And unless you understand this, unless you learn how to navigate this system, you risk falling into the same trap that has claimed millions before you. But there is a way out. In the next section, we'll explore why the system actively suppresses intelligence, how it keeps smart people trapped, and most importantly, how you can escape it. Stay tuned if you are highly intelligent. You may have asked yourself this question countless times. Why does the world feel so slow? Why does society seem allergic to deep thinking? Why do people resist logic, reason, and innovation? The answer is simple but unsettling. This world is not built for intelligence. It is built for stability, predictability, and control. Intelligence threatens that balance. Independent thought disrupts systems. And those who think too fast, too deeply, or too differently are seen as problems to be managed, not assets to be cultivated. The system does not want thinkers. It wants followers. It does not reward brilliance. It rewards obedience, and it has spent decades perfecting the art of keeping intelligent people trapped, distracted, and powerless. Let's break this down piece by piece. You were born into a world that does not want you to realize your full potential. From the moment you could think for yourself, the system has been working against you. It has three primary tactics to keep you from escaping: misdirection, flooding your mind with distractions. Look around. What is society obsessed with? Entertainment, social media, sensationalized news, endless scrolling. The average person spends hours a day consuming mindless content, short clips, viral trends, and headlines engineered to provoke emotional reactions. This is not an accident. The system floods your mind with low-level distractions so that you never focus on high-level thinking. It fills your days with meaningless noise, keeping you too busy, too entertained, and too overstimulated to notice the deeper truths around you. When was the last time you sat in silence just thinking? When was the last time you read something challenging? Not for entertainment, but for intellectual growth. Most people can't even sit through a 5-minute video without checking their phone. The system has turned intellectual starvation into a lifestyle. Psychological warfare, convincing you that you're the problem. If you are intelligent, you have likely been told things like, "You're overthinking it," "You're too difficult," or "You just don't fit in." Society has gaslit intelligent people into believing that their struggles are personal failures when, in reality, they are inevitable in a system designed for the average mind. From childhood, those who ask too many questions are labeled troublemakers. Those who challenge authority are seen as disruptive. And those who think faster than their peers are called arrogant, impatient, or socially awkward. But the truth is, you are not the problem. The system cannot accommodate true intelligence. It was never built to. Instead, it forces intelligent people to shrink themselves, to slow down, to conform, to make themselves smaller so that they don't disrupt the fragile order of the world around them. And the longer you internalize these messages, the more you start to doubt yourself. But doubt alone isn't enough to control you. The system needs one final layer of control. Economic control. Keeping you too busy to think critically. Even if you see through the distractions, even if you overcome the psychological traps, there is still one last barrier that prevents intelligent people from escaping. Money. Think about it. If you are constantly worried about paying rent, covering bills, and keeping your job, do you have the time or energy to challenge the system, to build something new, to break free? Of course not. And that is the point. The system is structured to keep you too busy surviving to actually think. Student loan debt forces you into careers you don't enjoy. A 40-plus hour work week drains your mental energy. The rising cost of living keeps you in a perpetual state of stress. And when you are tired, stressed, and mentally exhausted, you do not rebel, you comply. This is why wealth is power. The wealthiest people in the world don't follow the system. They own it. They have the time, the resources, and the freedom to think independently. But the average person is trapped in economic chains that keep them obedient, distracted, and intellectually stagnant. Now you might be wondering, if intelligence is so powerful, why doesn't the system encourage it? Wouldn't society benefit from more intelligent people? And that brings us to the final, painful truth: why the world rejects intelligence. The system is designed for stability, not innovation. For centuries, societies have thrived on order, predictability, and control. Governments, corporations, and institutions do not want a population of highly intelligent, independent thinkers. They want people who follow the script, who work, consume, and obey. Innovation is unpredictable. Intelligence is disruptive, and the system does not reward things that disrupt it. Corporations want obedience, not brilliance. In the corporate world, raw intelligence is not always valuable. Loyalty and compliance are. Look at any major company. The most intelligent employees do not always rise to the top. The most obedient ones do. The ones who play the game, who don't question authority, who go along with the system rather than challenging it. Brilliant thinkers are often ignored, overlooked, or even fired because true intelligence does not fit neatly into the corporate structure. Education punishes curiosity and rewards conformity. Have you ever wondered why schools focus so much on memorization rather than critical thinking? It's because the education system was never designed to produce thinkers. It was designed to produce workers. The modern school system is based on an industrial-era model that prioritizes obedience over intelligence. Follow the curriculum, don't question authority, and regurgitate facts for a test. Curiosity is not rewarded, it is suppressed. Independent thought is not encouraged, it is discouraged. And by the time most people graduate, they've been trained to follow, not to think. But if intelligence is so dangerous to the system, why do smart people still feel so alone? If you have an IQ of 130 or higher, you might not realize how massive the gap is between you and the average person. To put it in perspective, the difference between you and someone with an average IQ of 100 is as large as the difference between the average person and someone who is clinically impaired with an IQ of 70. Think about that for a second. This is why the world feels so slow to you, why people struggle to grasp what seems obvious to you, and why society feels frustrating, illogical, and broken. Because in many ways, it is. The system was not built for intelligence, it was built for the average. And when you operate far beyond that level, you are not just ahead, you are completely out of sync with the world around you. This is the intelligence trap. The world needs intelligent minds, but instead of nurturing them, it traps them, isolates them, and suppresses them. But there is a way out. In the next section, we'll uncover exactly how to escape the system, leverage your intelligence, and take back control of your mind, your freedom, and your future. Stay tuned if you've made it this far. You already know the truth. The system was never designed to reward intelligence. It was designed to control it. It distracts you, isolates you, and convinces you that your struggles are personal rather than structural. But now that you see the trap for what it is, the question becomes, how do you escape? Most people believe the answer is simple. Work harder, prove yourself, and eventually the system will reward you. But that is a lie. Stop playing by their rules. The system is rigged, and working harder will not save you. If intelligence was all it took to succeed, the world would look very different. The most brilliant minds would be the wealthiest, the most powerful, the most celebrated. But that's not how it works, is it? Instead, mediocrity rises while intelligence is suppressed. Why? Because the system does not reward intelligence in itself. It rewards intelligence that is useful to the system. If your intelligence helps a corporation make money, they will keep you, but only as long as you follow orders. If your intelligence can be controlled, contained, and redirected into a system that benefits others, it will be tolerated, but never truly rewarded. And if your intelligence threatens the status quo, it will be ignored, ridiculed, or even destroyed. The harsh reality is this: intelligence alone is useless. It doesn't matter how smart you are if you don't know how to apply that intelligence strategically, and that's where leverage comes in. If you want to escape the system, you cannot rely on intelligence alone. You must use leverage. Leverage is what allows the most powerful and successful people in the world to rise above the system rather than being trapped within it. And there are 3 critical forms of leverage that you must master. Number 1. Stop seeking permission. This is the first and most important step. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to discover you, validate you, or hand you an opportunity. If you are waiting for the world to recognize your intelligence and reward you accordingly, you will be waiting forever. The job you think will appreciate your ideas will just use you until they no longer need you. The system you think will promote you based on merit will pass you over in favor of someone more compliant. The validation you seek from society will never come. The world only takes you seriously once you take yourself seriously. This means stop waiting for permission to act. Stop waiting for the right time to take risks. Stop waiting for approval from people who don't even understand your potential. You must declare yourself valuable, powerful, and capable without waiting for anyone else to agree. Number 2. Master leverage. Leverage is what separates those who control the system from those who are controlled by it. Leverage allows you to multiply your intelligence, your efforts, and your impact, so that instead of trading time for money, you create systems that work for you. There are 3 major forms of leverage. Business. The most successful people don't work for others. They build systems that generate income independently. This could mean starting a company, investing in assets, or creating something that provides value at scale. Automation. The most intelligent people don't spend their time on repetitive, low-level tasks. They outsource, automate, and delegate so they can focus on higher-level thinking. If you're doing the same thing every day, you are stuck in a trap of inefficiency. Strategic influence. The most powerful individuals are not always the smartest, but they know how to align themselves with power. They know how to build connections, networks, and relationships that give them access to opportunities. Mastering leverage means working smarter, not harder. It means understanding systems rather than being a servant to them. Number 3. Rewrite your own rules. Everything you've been told about success is a script designed to keep you in line. Go to school, get good grades, get a safe job, work hard, follow the system, and you'll be rewarded. Stay in your lane. Don't make waves, and eventually success will come. This is the greatest lie ever told. The people who truly escape the system do not follow these rules. They write their own. Instead of chasing degrees, they chase skills. Instead of waiting for a promotion, they create their own opportunities. Instead of hoping the system will reward them, they learn how to bend the system in their favor. And once you stop playing by the rules designed to keep you trapped, you will begin to see how much power you truly have. But escaping the system is not just about strategy, it's also about energy. Most people believe that success is about intelligence or talent, but the truth is, it's about energy management. The most successful people in the world do not just work harder or think smarter. They control their energy with precision. A sharp mind requires a strong body. If your body is weak, tired, or unhealthy, your brain will suffer. That's why the most successful people prioritize physical health as a non-negotiable. They exercise daily to increase focus, energy, and cognitive function. They eat strategically, cutting out processed junk and fueling their brain with real nutrients. And they prioritize sleep, because a tired mind is an ineffective mind. Your intelligence is worthless if your body is too weak to support it. Treat your physical health like a weapon, because in many ways, it is. Mental energy and focus are power. Your mind is constantly under attack from distractions, from information overload, from useless noise. The most successful people protect their mental energy with discipline. They cut out distractions. No mindless scrolling. No wasted hours on entertainment. They control their focus. They don't react to everything around them. They choose what deserves their attention. They create deep work habits instead of multitasking. They train their minds to focus on one important thing at a time. Your mental energy is your most valuable resource. Guard it with everything you have. And what about emotional energy? Stop seeking validation from the average. One of the biggest traps intelligent people fall into is seeking validation from those who will never understand them. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't get it. Stop waiting for approval from those who fear intelligence. Stop lowering your standards just to fit in, because the world will never fully validate you, as intelligence is a threat to the system. But once you stop needing that validation, you become untouchable. Now, the final breakout plan: building your own reality. You understand the game. You've seen the system for what it is, a structure designed to keep you in line, to suppress intelligence, and to ensure that those who think too deeply never gain true power. But here's the reality that most people will never accept. You cannot change the system. You must outgrow it. The system is too big, too entrenched, and too deeply woven into the fabric of society. It will not reward you for being intelligent. It will not suddenly value your ideas or open doors for you. The world does not change to accommodate intelligence. Intelligent people must change their approach to the world. And that means one thing: you must build your own reality. The reason so many intelligent people feel trapped is because they are trying to succeed within a system that was never designed for them. They are trying to find meaning, success, and validation in a world that does not understand them. That ends now. If you want to escape, you must stop adapting to the system and start constructing your own path. And that begins with 3 fundamental shifts. First, and most urgent: finding the right people. If you are surrounded by small minds, shallow conversations, and people who cannot see beyond their immediate reality, your intelligence will suffocate. It will shrink. It will be forced into submission just so you can fit in. Most people live in intellectual isolation, not because they are truly alone, but because they are surrounded by the wrong people. Look around. Who do you spend your time with? Are they people who challenge you? Who inspire you? Who force you to think bigger, move faster, and push beyond the limits that society has placed on you? Or are they people who drain you, who keep you stagnant, who dismiss your ideas because they can't comprehend them? If it's the latter, you need to leave. you must surround yourself with your tribe, people who think at your level, who see the world in high resolution, who are not afraid of complex thought. Because the truth is, intelligence does not thrive in isolation. It thrives in collaboration. And once you have the right people around you, the next step is inevitable. Second, create independent wealth. Stop relying on jobs that suppress intelligence. Here's the brutal truth. As long as you rely on the system for survival, you will never be free. If you work for someone else, you are at their mercy. Your time, your energy, your creativity belong to them. And the second you challenge the status quo, the second you start thinking too independently, you become a liability. That is why intelligent people must build their own sources of wealth. Because money is not just money, it is freedom, it is control, it is the ability to walk away from anything that does not serve you. The wealthiest, most powerful people in history did not climb corporate ladders. They built their own empires. They created systems, investments, and assets that generated wealth independently. So ask yourself, are you working to survive, or are you working to escape? Because until you break free from financial dependence, your intelligence will always be a tool for someone else's benefit. Third, use intelligence to control systems, not be controlled by them. There are two kinds of people in the world: those who follow systems and those who create them. Most people operate within a system they do not understand. They follow rules that were handed to them without question. They obey structures they never even realize exist. But the truly powerful, they create the rules. They understand how systems work, so they can manipulate them to their advantage. If you are intelligent, you already see patterns that others miss. You already understand how things connect, how power flows, and how incentives shape behavior. So the real question is, are you using that intelligence to build systems for yourself? Or are you allowing others to use your intelligence to strengthen their own? The system will always exist, but you have two choices: be a player in someone else's game, or design your own. This ultimately is what separates those who truly break free from those who remain trapped. The truth is, there has always been a war on intelligence. The world does not want people who think too deeply, because deep thought leads to revolution. The system does not want individuals who question authority, because questions dismantle control. Society does not celebrate intelligence. It tolerates it, restricts it, and when necessary, destroys it. But here's the secret. You do not have to fight the war directly. You just have to escape it. Once you understand that the system cannot be changed, you stop trying to fix it and start focusing on freeing yourself from it. Find your tribe. The right people will elevate you. Create independent wealth. Money buys you freedom. Control systems instead of following rules. The system is not your enemy. It is simply a structure that exists, and you no longer have to participate in it. Most people will never reach this level of understanding. They will stay trapped in distractions, in psychological warfare, in economic chains they do not even recognize. But you are different. You've seen the truth, and once you see it, you can never go back. The next move is yours. Will you keep playing the game that was never meant for you, or will you create a reality that is?